What's going on, guys? I'm Mike Pouncey, former center for the Miami Dolphins. I'm here with Coach Fred and my brother Marquise Pouncey, former center for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let you guys know that Twin P is official liquor, the Common Man Podcast. Bottoms up, Twin P, best. Gotta drink some more.
You know what it is. You know what it is. Common Man. CM Podcast, man. Big shout out to Twin P, official sponsor. You know what we do every time we start the show, just to make sure it's a good show. Shout out Twin P. Link in the bio. We'll run that up in a minute. Hit that QR code. Tap in. Get you some of that Twin P. Tell them you saw it here first. Let's go, man. As we get into the show, we got a guest. You see him right there, man. My main man, Florida boy, Arkansas, former receiver, SEC, high school state champion. And then I mentioned he was from Florida. My guy, Coach Bryant. What's up, Coach?
Oh, man, I'm just sitting out here chilling at this baseball game, man. Excited and honored to be on this podcast with you, man. Looking forward to it.
Home team, man. You know how that go, baby. Again, as we talk about Common Man and what we wanted to do with this, we talked about HBCU football. We talked about junior college football. We talked about the ruling and how all that would come into play. And who better to talk about that stuff than somebody that's actually down in it? My guy, Bryant. Bam's been in it for a minute now. Coming up on about 8 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, as a JC college football coach from the crib, Polk County. He spent 7 seasons at Mississippi Gulf Coast, 2 at Kahoma. Did I mention that Bam played receiver in the SEC? I don't know if I did that or not. Did I mention that Bam played receiver at Butler Community College in Kansas? Did y'all win a national championship when you were there?
Well, no. You know, I wouldn't end up going up there to Iowa. I didn't take that trip to Butler.
All right, Coco went to Butler. You went to Iowa. Yeah, Coco went to Butler. You went to Iowa. Florida boy in Iowa. Go figure. Hey, man, as we spin into this, and we're going to let you get back to the baseball game, man, just kind of want to talk about it. Just give the people, man, an overview of you before we dig off into the issue at hand.
Just like, Leroy just mentioned, been doing this for going on 22 years now. And I've spent 9 in the JUCO level, man. This is my first year as a coordinator here in the JUCO level. Very excited about this upcoming season here at Jones College in Ellisville, Mississippi. So, just a coach just trying to, live out his dream, try to get to that next level and continue to impact these young men's lives.
Man, and that's big time, man. Every time I see you, I see Coco, man, I think about 1 or 2 things. Either I should come up and put y'all in the $1 million dream, or I can come up and hug y'all. I remember way back when I was still playing in the Arena League, coming back to the crib, yourself, Craig, Max Moore, everybody out there, man, how y'all running routes and, just teaching y'all, showing y'all. And now to see you as a grown man then doing this, I don't know if that's when my coaching bug started fooling around with y'all, or is that when the sickness started with the coaching, man? But it's always proud, Uncle Tom, man, when I see you guys doing well, and you've been at it for a minute. You've won a lot of football games while doing it and impacting a lot of young lives, man. I just want to say shout out to you for doing that and continue to do that for not only the young men back where we're from, but young men all around, and just continue to do that at a high level, man. I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. I lost you there for a second.
I was just giving you your flowers, man. I was saying either I should choke you out or I should hug you. Way back when is when fooling with y'all is when I think the coaching bug started for me. Showing y'all how to run routes and out there at Carver Rec Center in the back, going one-on-ones, getting after it, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that's when it started or should I have ran away then, but that's always a thing when I see you, man. Again, like I said, just proud of you.
Oh yeah, you brought back memories. Just being able to go out there to those practices and watch you guys run around and just basically seeing you run routes and how smooth you were in and out of breaks and stuff. And I go home and look at myself in the mirror, see if I can do the same thing. But at the time, it wasn't working. It wasn't working. But I definitely enjoyed watching you run around out there, man. I promise you that.
Obviously, it did work. You ended up playing in the SEC, so something went down. Something went down. Man, let's dig into this thing, man. The ruling that hadn't went, but it's the injunction. What have you seen with that new rule, man, with junior college, man, where those kids can kind of come there, play for 2 years, and not have it count against their college eligibility? Have you seen a shift as of yet with that, with the guys that you guys have there and with the incoming class? What have you seen with that so far?
We haven't really seen too much on that as of right now. With the portal just continuing to open up, for the spring and stuff like that. And, we got a lot of guys that we're looking at trying to get here on scholarship and stuff. But as far as, that shift and that extra year that those guys are getting and stuff, I really want to dig more into it because I heard so much about it. And from my understanding, I thought that, they was granted 1 year. Those guys that were seniors this year that played JUCO ball, that was granted 1 year, and then that was it. As far as I thought it was a one-time thing. That's the information I got from it. I don't know if it's a continued thing, because if it is, guys that, basically 40 years old gonna try to see if they got 2 more years so they get a hold of some of the NIL money. But that ain't gonna work, baby. That ain't gonna work.
Nah, right now that's what it is. That's what you said. But it's up for a vote. Our producer can kind of give us a little more insight on that. Yeah, I'm calling you out the back, Zach, on that deal. But right now, like you said, it's the guys that were senior. They get that deal back, that year back right now for the injunction. But it's something to be voted on. So I know a lot of guys are trying to align themselves to where they can get to said junior college, play for 2 years, academically be good for 2 years, and then move on to a 4-year school and still have their 4 or their 5 to play 4. So, it hadn't came official yet. I don't think they voted on it yet. I really don't think the NCAA can do that. I just think if they do that, it's going to be complete mayhem. If they allow that to happen, it's just one of those deals where there's no set date for the vote. But it'll probably be after the House settlement is what my guy's telling me. But that's one of those things where those guys are going to be beating down y'all door for the opportunity to play 2 years and not have it count against them.
And if they do that, I think that, it's going to change some things, man. We got a roster of 65. That roster going to probably end up being close to 100, over 100 some ball players and stuff. They have to increase. And at the same time, if it do pass, man, these kids ain't going to never get out of school, man. They'll never get out of school if they go up there to Florida State, play Florida State a year, then drop down JUCO 2 years, and then try to jump back up, man. A lot of guys going to be 30, 40 years. They should have a PhD coming out. So I really don't see that working. That's just me talking. I really don't have no bark in this fight or whatever, man. But I think that's gonna cause a lot of problems, and then we're gonna have overload here at JUCO, and that's gonna cause us to spend a lot of money extending the locker room, extending the weight room. I mean, it's gonna cost a lot of money, so I really don't see it gonna pass. I really don't.
So now, and you touched on that, and I want to go back to the transfer portal. How is that spinning down to y'all? Because, like, for me, I can tell you right now, my Twitter full of guys in the transfer portal saying, "Hey, what's up, coach?" From FBS down to D3. What is that portal like for you guys right now?
Well, that portal it looked good. It looked good from a distance. But when we see those guys jump into the portal, because I get that portal alert off Twitter. But when you do reach out to those guys, man, they really we're the bottom of the barrel right now because they want to see what's out there. And I don't have guys I talk to and call them, "Hey, coach, how much y'all got for NIL money?" We don't have any NIL money. So I mean, it's not looking good for us until it get to the bitter end and they don't have anywhere to go. So it'd be late July if we even get any of those guys because they want to sit and wait and see what they can pick up out of the portal.
So when we were coming through, Bam, and I think it's probably the same when you were in JC, a lot of guys, if they got the feel that they weren't ready, they would want to sit a year, play 1 year, leave with 3 years. Is that still the thought?
No, we want guys coming in and playing right now. I mean, we don't really have time to say, "Hey, you sit out a year and let's develop you." We need guys that can come in and play right now. We get the 2 years out of you and then send you on to that P4 school, man. Our goal is to have above a 2.5 and graduate these guys and develop these guys as well while they're down here.
So you're still in that year and a half window, even though we're talking 2 years for you guys. That's
Yeah.
still the emphasis to get
Yep.
those guys out early. And with that, as we kind of get into the portal, I don't know if we lost him or not. Let me hold my point just to make sure till he comes back. Just to make sure. Hit the NFL in June. Thanks for one of my first ever football interviews. It's me, Tyler Martinez. Okay. 1 sec. Let me tell Coach he's gonna have to come back in. As his phone ring. So as we're here and we're talking, not sure if you guys are up on it. We got Coach Bam, Coach Bryant, offensive coordinator of Jones Community College here in Mississippi, and we're talking about the ruling that was good for 1 year for the guys that were in their senior years at four-year institutions, to where they got another year back for their time in junior college, and that ruling hasn't been completely put in to go. It was just a 1 year stay. So it's one of those deals of where they are going to vote on it. And it could be a deal of where kids can go to junior college for 2 years, play for 2 seasons, and still have 4 years, well, 5 years to play, 4 years at a senior institution. So, the problem with that is what everybody's kind of getting into is kind of the money issue, so to speak. And as Coach Bryant was just saying, for them, junior college wise, they are on a 65 player deal. If this happens, the states have got to now look at what they want to do with the junior college system, because they're going to have to increase it. So just to kind of give you an insight on it, what they call their scholarships is considered paper money. So now you've got paper money for those kids that are playing junior college football. And now if this ruling goes in and they have to extend, now that's more money the states have to put out to help fund these junior college programs. And that's kind of what he was saying, as far as those schools are now, those junior colleges, those community colleges are going to now have to make a decision on what they're doing with that. And that's going to, I think, put the pressure on how that ruling goes. 1 second. And that's going to put the pressure on some of the presidents at the community college level on how they want to go it. How do they want to see it? Because now at some point, it's going to be a money issue because you're going to have to add to your equipment. You're going to have to add to your facilities, as Coach Bryant said. You're going to have to add to everything you're doing because now you just went from a situation of where you had 65 to probably 105. Coach B.
Yeah.
Okay, got you back. So the point I was about to go into with you was, now you're at 65. If the portal continues the way it goes, this injunction is passed, and now those kids get 2 years off the books. As we say in junior college, the paper money is for 65. Now you're going to have to make a decision if you're going to go 85 or 105. And you see what the four-year universities are doing. Now they're starting to cap rosters and all that. Where do you see that going for you guys in particular? And you're at one of the better JCs in the country. Where do you see that going in particular for you guys?
Well, the way I see it going, all the presidents of the junior colleges here in Mississippi will really get together and basically got to look at the number figure of, expanding the things that need to expand to accommodate these individuals that's coming in. Like I say, you got to expand the locker room. Guess what? You got to get more dorm room, more living spaces, because you got to make sure that you accommodate the normal student body as well. And also, you asking to bring in 20 some more players on that roster. So now you got to think about, the cost of equipment, helmets, and all that kind of stuff, man. It's going to be a budget thing, man. It's going to be something real extremely hard to, pass, but they're going to have to agree to basically, hey, do we do this or we don't? And with being in the system, man, and the way money and stuff is in the system here, I think that's going to be a extremely hard thing for the junior colleges to be like, hey, yeah, let's do this.
And I think the people that are in charge, that are making the decisions, Coach Bryant, aren't boots on the ground. I hate to say that, but they're not down in it. Let me put it that way. They're not down in it. So they don't have connection to a Coach Bryant, to a Coach Fred, to ask these questions, to find out, like, hey, if this happens, how does this work for not only Jones Junior College, but how does this work for Alcorn State? How does this work for Central Florida? When we talk about small FCS, we talk about the group of five, then we talk about the P4. P4 is a whole nother animal. Take them out of that. That's not going to bother them. But when you're talking about Jones Junior College and you're talking about Delta Community College, there's a difference. And that's going to be the hard pill to swallow, because if Jones says they're all in, Delta may not have the means to be all in. So what happens to those programs? You know what I mean? What do we do? How do we level that? Because in Kansas, they wanted us to have 100 kids in those dorms, but we had 100 kids in the dorms, but we only had 60 that were on scholarship, so to speak. So, when you make that point, I don't know how you get past that for those smaller programs.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a great point when you basically trying to force, especially the other schools, their budget don't match, the big dogs in this JUCO league. You asking them to stretch their funds and stuff like that, take their funds away from something else. So that's the only reason why I say that, it'll be hard to pass something like that because of the funds and the resources that those other schools don't have access to. So I think again, I don't think it's going to pass.
I'm with you. You touched on something else, man, before we let you get back to the baseball game and the hot dogs and all that. NIL. What's the feel for the NIL? I know I heard you say something about a kid call, asked about NIL money. Where is that at right now in the junior college sector?
Well, I know the previous school I was at, we talked about, getting NIL money and taking care of those guys, which it wasn't a large amount of money, but it was just something real small to take care of those guys and make sure those guys are taken care of. But just looking at those numbers of those guys from transfer portal, you can get in and they got dollar signs on those guys, exactly how much they had at their previous school. And some of them, their money, their dollar sign, hey, can cover our whole football staff. So, I mean, we can't touch them. We can't touch them. We got to let them stay in that portal until somebody else pick them up. One of the big dogs pick them up. But the NIL money have yet to get here in the JUCO system. But it is some small funds that are being provided at some schools.
So it's slowly coming your way, is what you're saying. The NIL is slowly coming you guys' way.
Yeah, it is slowly coming, but it won't be no big money. It won't be no big money, man. Unless we get a big donor that went to school at one of these JUCOs and want to donate some big time money.
Coach, you back? Coach, you
Yeah,
back?
I'm here.
Okay. Hey, we're gonna let you
Yep.
get back to the game, man. I saw you kind of jump in. Uh, Folks that want to follow you, man, may want to have a in-depth conversation with you a little bit more about the subject that we kind of hit on. How can they find you? They talk about the Wi-Fi at Alcorn, that Wi-Fi in Ellisville. Coach, you with me?
They can find me at Coach. They can follow me at Coach _ W capital R on Twitter.
Coach, go back. Coach B, you there?
Did you get that?
No. You missed out. Run that back for the people. You there, Coach? Coach B?
Make sure. Close out on this thing.
All right, Coach went out, man, but we again, we'll try to get him again with a better situation there. When we talk about the Wi-Fi, the connection, we'll jump on and try and get that solidified so we can talk a little bit more about the junior college situation, about the NIL, about scholarships, the overall state of what we say as far as college football and where it's headed from the ground roots when we're talking junior college up to D3, NAIA, NAIA, D3, D2, FCS, up to group of four, Power Five. When you talk about the NIL, I think it's one of those deals of where I don't know how you're going to have to come and put hard parameters on it. You can't pull it all the way back, but I think you've got to put some parameters on it. And I know it's one of those conversations that have turned into, one of those things where you're beating a dead horse. But I think the NCAA has got to figure out a way to put a cap to it. And when you put a cap to it, it turns into basically AAA, AA, single A baseball, because at some point you're going to have Blue Bloods University is going to have that one Jeff Bezos that's going to fund them, and they're going to be the team that has a $30 million roster. Oh, wait, that's already happened. Ohio State. So when you have those type of programs that have that endowment list, and it's not really an endowment list, it's who likes that program, who has that money, who can give to that program. So a lot of times, I think that's where the misconception comes in. A lot of times, people think that the alumni is the one that's fronting the bill, but for the most part, there was a lot of people that don't have any credit hours from Ohio State that help fund their collective. And I think that's where the boat has got to be steered in a different direction than what it's going right now, if that makes sense, when we're talking NIL, because if it doesn't, then it's just going to turn into big bank take little bank, and looky what we got here in the waiting room. We got my guy, Coach Reggie Barlow, the new head coach of the Tennessee State Tigers. What's happening, Coach? How you doing?
I'm good. How's it going?
Good, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate that, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
No problem, man. I think the last time I actually saw you and shook your hand, we were in the Gump, getting ready to play your alma mater, and you were getting ready to go into, I think, the school's Hall of Fame, which was a big honor right there. So, again, double congratulations on that, man. But Coach, without further ado, so we don't hold you up, man, how's the first 14 days been on the job?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, but obviously there's a lot of really great people here at Tennessee State that has, kind of taken my hand and showing me the way. Miss Tess, Miss Stokes, two ladies that work in the athletic department. Man, without them, I don't know. It's been golden. Obviously being able to meet all the student athletes that we have here at Tennessee State and our football team. So it's been a real cool experience so far, and looking forward to just continuing to get to know more people on campus, and obviously continue to watch our guys and just have fun with those guys.
So, Coach, this is not your first rodeo, so to speak, in the college football sector, but you are coming back from professional football. So, with the short time that you're away and now that you're back in it, what's the newness that you're having to get adjusted to?
It's called a transfer portal. It's called NILs. It's called collectives. But the good thing is it's still blocking and tackling, right? When it comes to football, obviously being away from it for maybe 3 years or so, just getting calibrated in terms of dead periods and contact periods and the times when you can recruit, times you can go out. Obviously, Twitter is the way. Obviously, a lot of these student athletes use that, and that's like a way you can be in contact with them, or they're being in contact with you. But it's all good. I mean, it's still football. Obviously different recruiting tools you have to use now in order to get guys, lure guys to your university. So we're all gung ho about it, excited about it, and looking forward to doing it.
Now, when you talk about the portal, what's the closeness with the sector that you just left from? What's the closeness to that in free agency? Because that's what I said it is, essentially.
Yeah, I mean it's relatable. Obviously you get guys, well, as a player, being on a team and becoming, the real difference is, when I was a player, you sign your contract and then you was kind of restricted to that until you became an unrestricted free agent. And then now it's the portal. You can go visit teams and teams could visit you and all that stuff. So but with this, it's every year they're unrestricted free agents, which is a little different, right? It's a little different than the NFL in that form of fashion, but it's all relative into trying to recruit a guy to come be a part of your team, whether it's recruiting them through offering money, NIL, collectives, and that type of deal, or whether it's just, hey, come because this is a great university. We have a great staff, showing the history of us developing young men, not just on the football field, but also to become productive citizens and all that stuff. So I do know money matters. So I'm not going to act like it doesn't. We know money matters. So um, we respect the way the game is right now and everything that comes along with college football. And we're just excited to be a part of it again.
Coach, like I said, it's been a fast 14 days for you, man. How many of the alumni chapters have scheduled you to hit that summer tour already?
Yeah, our AD, Dr. Allen, Mickey Allen, he does a great job, man. What a great guy. Love our AD's energy. And he has some dates slated for us to do like a bus tour where we'll go and hit some areas where there's a lot of alums from Tennessee State. And I mean, that's what it's about for me. I'm humbled and blessed that I get to work at a place with such great tradition and history. And we know about all the great football players that play here. We know about Wilma Rudolph and track players, and there's baseball players, there's basketball, but there's a lot of other people who didn't play sports that did some amazing things in this world. And I just get excited about being a part of that. And like I said, Dr. Allen is going to have the tour. We'll go out and meet and greet some folks. We're actually having a social on Friday because it's important to us to reach out to the former players. So we're having a social where we're inviting every former player that ever played at Tennessee State. Obviously, the guys in this area, if the guys are within driving range, we want them to be there as well, just so we can thank them for the foundation that they've laid over the years. And so they can meet and greet our coaches and really just be connected.
So when you talk about that, because we know that's the backbone of every program. Because if you don't have the support, it becomes tough. So when you talk about Tennessee State and you talk about the HBCU landscape, uh, how far do you reach back when you are now starting a new frontier there at Tennessee State? How far are you reaching back to bring those people back into the fold? Are you reaching back as far as you can go back in the programs? Are you in the archives? You know, how far are you reaching back?
Yeah, I mean, we want to go back as far as we're allowed to in terms of people that are still living, and if they're still around, we want everybody. I just believe that we don't want to leave anybody out that wants to be a part and wants to come around. And the good thing is there's already guys that's been here,
Mhm.
that comes around to practice. There's a few groups that Tennessee State football have here that former players are a part of. And it's the Tiger Den is one. There's, we have we got what they call our tree coaches, guys that comes to all the practice, them on their tree and they watch practice. So we want every group. Forgive me, I know I'm missing some, but we want every group to come out and be a part of what we got going on. We want to embrace those guys because without the things that they did when they were players here and when they were student athletes here, we wouldn't have what we have now. And the I've never seen anything like the amount of people that have come through Tennessee State and got drafted to play in the NFL, signed free agent to play in the NFL, Hall of Famers, HBCU Hall of Famers, Super Bowl champions, Pro Bowl. I've never seen anything like this, and I know there's some really great HBCUs in the world, including the ones that I've attended, ASU, and then of course Virginia State, which is a favorite of mine as well. But yeah, this place, Tennessee State, has some amazing athletes that have come through here in every sport, and it's just it's pretty impressive.
And we want to keep it about you and your time at your time now and that's coming at Tennessee State. But I don't want to just race past the fact that you're an HBCU grad yourself. Um, you're an HBCU grad who did at the time what people said was the impossible. You were able to turn an HBCU career into an NFL career. And I just want to speak to that just a little bit because I don't want that to get lost in the fact of who you are,
Yeah.
because, you were at the ground level, so to speak. And I know there were people that were before you, but you were at the ground level as the TV coverage, as the internet just started to kind of pick up, and your career linked from the other ASU. I had to say that because the ASU that I work at.
All right.
Uh, and now your time in the pros. Just speaking to your HBCU experience, merging that into an NFL career, and then taking that after an NFL career into the coaching career, man. Just speak to that just a little bit, uh,
Yeah.
if you can.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you asking that question. Just a young man that grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, wanting to play football, and I love baseball as well. It's really my first passion, but I didn't really get recruited in football. Alabama State was the only school that offered me a scholarship, and obviously we took that, and I am who I am because of Alabama State and the foundation and the put in of mindset and skill set and how to go about attacking something that you really want from our coaches, Houston Markham and Coach McKenzie, Guy Holiday, Roger Totten, who really like made me into who I am from a mindset standpoint, my receiver coach. But because of Alabama State giving me that opportunity to play football, um, to start having some success, and then obviously being able to continue that success and make plays, and then we were started getting invited to the Senior Bowl and then the Blue Gray All-Star game, and then obviously the combine in Indianapolis, when we really thought like, hey, this may be something that we can do for a long time, and then to be drafted that year in '96. That was really one of the best draft class for wide receivers ever. And just to be drafted in the fourth round to a wonderful team in Jacksonville, and then just having a career, right? I mean, first they say there's no way you can go from a HBCU. And then we say, yes, there is a way. And we just did it. And then there's no way you can play longer than the average, which is 3 years. And then you say, yes, it is a way. And we played 8. And then there's no way you should win a Super Bowl. Well, we won a Super Bowl. And then obviously after 8 years, walking away or leaving the game. And then there again, the only university that gave me a chance to come and be a coach, Alabama State. So we were an assistant coach there for a year or so. And then I had a head coach that left, Coach Charlie Cole. Grateful for that guy. And then, of course, we got the head job, and we were there for 8 years and had a good time. Coached some really good players, had some really good staffs there, and you know, we had over about 20 some guys that played for us at Alabama State that either signed in the NFL, got drafted in the NFL, or was invited to NFL camps. So did a good job of recruiting and developing guys. And man, you all that stuff I'm mentioning, you can't do it if you don't populate yourself with good people. So we were blessed to have some good people around us, good coaches. Obviously, my mom, my parents, my brothers, people that believed in us, and yeah, just having good people around you is the way to go. And that's certainly the way that we've been able to achieve the things that we've achieved.
Now, looking back on that in your time, your 8 years there, and looking at the landscape now, do you think you could have had, because you won a lot of games, do you think that you could have had the same success with the landscape of college football now back then?
I mean, I would like to think so. I think the jobs that you mean me as a player or me as a coach?
You as a coach, you as a
Yeah,
coach.
yeah. I mean, I think so because we're in Alabama and we're bordered by some really fine states that play really good football: Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana. So I think we still would have been able to have success um, in recruiting and getting guys there. Obviously, we know, we would have been limited on resources in terms of being able to have, NIL collectives and all that stuff. But I think it's all relative. It starts at the top at a really, really high level, and those guys are receiving whatever they're receiving. And then, based on your talent, based on everything else, it's it develops itself out, or it evens itself out. So I think we would have still been able to have some success because obviously we would have had good coaches around us because that's always important. The coordinators that we've had, the assistant coaches that we've had, all of those guys are team guys. They understand the game, and ultimately they're good people that care about development of young men. So I think we would have.
And then you go down a notch. You go to V-State, and you have success. Um, what what has led to your success at every stop you've been? Because then you go to the XFL, you have success.
Yeah.
Um, Now you're here at Tennessee State. What's going to propel Coach Barlow to having success? What has done it in the past, and what's going to keep going?
Yeah, I think when we got the job at Virginia State, and whenever you get a job, right, you want to see what the leadership is like. And then at the time at Virginia State, Dr. Abdullah was the president, really sharp guy, smart guy, great leader. Man, Dr. Abdullah, he's a good one. And then Miss Peggy Davis was the AD at the time. Both of them had been there and had pretty good tenure there, and had hired coaches who had had success, and then they gave you the resources that you needed to be successful. So I think choosing the right places, places that's going to give you the resources to be able to do what you need to do. And we understand the limitations that we may have. So we don't gripe and complain about that. And then, like I mentioned earlier, just you got to hire the right people. That's one of the biggest things about when you get a job, is who are the people you're gonna bring with you, and you got to bring people that care about people. You can't bring people who don't like people, right? If you're in the people business, you gotta like people. So we get guys that are heavily invested in the student athlete. They are aligned with um, the things that we say we want to live by. We have this acronym that we live by. It's called a dash. We live the dash, and we spell it DASHH. And we just believe that there's 5 core characteristics that will allow you to be successful. Because I've seen it as a player and winning championships, and we've seen it work at other places. So we take that with us, and that's basically living the dash is being disciplined, doing what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, having a positive attitude, positive and conquering attitude, because there will be another A, and that's adversity. So you got to figure out a way to table it and to be able to overcome it. The S is for sacrifice. Each of us needs all of us, right? And that's the biggest one, is the sacrifice. We got to be willing to sacrifice for the sake of the team. You got to be willing to sacrifice for the sake of the neighborhood, the university, everything that's affiliated with the university. You got to give of yourself. And that's one of the big ones. And then the first H in the dash is habits. We all talk about what we want to be, but if you show me your habits, I can tell you what you're gonna be. Guys say they want to go to the NFL, but if your habits are not aligned with your expectations, then you're delusional. It's not something that you want to achieve. So your habits must be aligned. And after having all of those 4 characteristics, man, the last H is, what's your heart like? Do you care about people? Do you care about team? Are you committed to your teammates? Do you care about your coaches? Coaches, do you care about your players? Do you care about support staff? So we just feel like if you live out those 5 core characteristics, chances are you'll have a chance to be successful in your program. We've seen it work at Alabama State as a player. We've seen it work at Jacksonville, at Tampa Bay with the Raiders, and then obviously seeing it work as a head coach. So those are things we live by, and we're committed to living the dash.
And with the dash, coach, you say sacrifice. And we know it's a different day and age from when we were playing mid 90s. What's your buy-in? Because it's tough to get all 80 going in the same direction. And probably more so now, like you said, with the NIL stuff and all that. What's your driving point? What's your, this is the hammer to the nail on my sacrifice part.
Yeah, I mean, as a head coach, I have to be the thermostat, and we have to set the temperature, the thermometer to what we want it to be in terms of, here's how we're going to operate. Here's our set of rules. Here's how we're gonna move as a program. And as again, it's not about one person. It's not about one coach. It's not about me. And like you mentioned, 80 guys or 100 guys, and getting those guys on the same page, same level. And our message, my message that I give to our assistant coaches, that I give to our players, that the words that I talk out of our mouth to our players, then our coaches have to Paul Revere our message, right? Did you remember Paul Revere, right? The Indians coming, so it's they have to Paul Revere that message, and they do a great job of Paul revering our message to our players. And that's important to have guys that's going to do that. And then and then when you think about it, I mean, Jesus could only get 12 to follow him, so you're not going to get everybody. All right, and we're not walking on water, and we're not doing all these other things. So you're not going to get everyone, and that's when you have to redirect their career path, and you have to move on from them. So that's just part of it. We want all of them to be a part of our team. We want guys that love football. We want guys that care about each other to be a part of our team. But we do know you're not going to get everybody.
Redirect. I like that. Redirect that career path.
Yeah.
So, as we speed it up, man, so we can get you out of here, you get the job a little bit late in the season, so to speak. What's the first thing Coach Barlow did?
Well, one, it was I wanted to thank obviously the leadership for giving me this opportunity to be in a leadership role and lead these young men. The second thing was I wanted to thank the assistant coaches. Right, this is a tough business. Your head coach leave, and he don't take everybody. So there's some guys that had to stay here and monitor the program until a head coach was put in place. So we definitely want to thank those guys for what they did and staying around. I mean, that could be an uncomfortable situation, right? We've been there. So thank those guys. And then, of course, thanking the players, because it was the unknown. It was the uncertain, who's going to be our next coach. And, these guys stayed after it. They had these PRPs, they call them player ran practices. Pretty impressive to me as I was able to watch them and observe them. So those were the top three things. And then, of course, making our way around to meeting all the different auxiliaries on the campus, reaching out to we got a Zoom call with our signing class. Obviously, those kids are worried, the parents are worried, like, oh, is my son still going to have a scholarship and that type of stuff. So it was just to reach out to them and let them know they're all good. And we look forward to seeing them and looking forward to them being a part of our program. And then just continue to work our way. It's getting to know the alumni. It's making ourselves available for the people that love Tennessee State University. So those are the things that we've been doing.
How tough was it to leave the XFL? That's professional football. That's Dwayne Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
How tough decision was that for you?
Yeah, it's tough. I tell you, I loved our team so much. Those group of guys that we started from ground zero with, and drafting those guys, and then of course bringing them to be a part of our team, and then signing new guys every year, and these guys become like your little brothers. And I had such a great time there. But for us, it was, man, getting on the fall track, right? The spring track is good. And I think if I was a little older, if I was like 60-ish, my lights went off right there because I ain't moved. But when you're 60-ish, it's a perfect job, right? It's in the spring, you play 10 games, you go to playoffs and that type of stuff. So that's a perfect little setup if you're an older guy. But I love college ball. I love investing in young men, developing young men. And that was just something that, it was hard to leave from, but it was certainly once you found out a chance to come to Tennessee State, then it's like, man, oh man, this is new wine, new skin. This is a good one.
So you get there, you make all the PR moves as far as, shaking the hands, smiling, because I saw the press conference. I don't know where you got the suit from, but I guess that was that pro money. It was you were tight now. It looked like it had just been made for you.
No. I have a homeboy that work at the cleaners, man. He loaned me somebody's suit. I already gave it back.
You know, I don't believe that.
Well, for
But
real, Chris, man, my homeboy worked at the cleaner, so I borrowed it, man, and I got it right back to him after that, though. So,
you didn't drink any coffee, you know, nothing with diet color, nothing in it. You got it right
and,
back. I get it.
right on.
So what's the next, the actual football move? Because you get it late, there's a lot of naysayers. You know, coach is gonna come to a program, he's gonna have less than 30 kids. What's the next football move for you?
Yeah, so we talked about our student athletes doing the PRP, the player ran practices,
Mhm.
and same way with you, right? When I was coming here, we were hearing about all the guys in the transfer portal, and there are some, right? And we respect that. It's their right. I mean, that's part of what this is. So they have the right to be in there. We did offer if they wanted to come back and be a part of the team, there would be no
Mhm.
judgment, and we would let them back simply because they left because the uncertainty and not knowing. But we have and we say we don't want to use the word salvage, all right, our spring ball. But what we have done is we've been able to get in 4 practices. The goal is to try to
Okay.
get 8 to 10 before the time is up for us. So these young men, we owed that to them to give them some sense of ball. Let the cleats hit the grass, and they are having a good time with it. They work hard. We are so appreciative of them working hard, and we've gone a few days. We're going to go tomorrow, which for practice, and then of course we'll go Thursday, and then we'll have some skills and drills on Saturday because it's like a coming home preview of spring ball and all that stuff. So there'll be alums and stuff coming back. There's an alumni flag football game that the former players will play. So we're gonna have fun with that, and we're gonna let our guys get out there and go run around and play some football, and then we'll have a 2 more days of practice after that. So I'm proud of the coaches that we have here, and then obviously of the student athletes that have just bought in and hit the ground running.
And that's big for them to, you know, come back as soon as you get there. I'm sure you had all kind of guys outside your office wanting to talk to you, and I think that says a lot about your track record as well. So you know, as we get to the end of the interview, you're coming into a situation of a playoff team. You know, the expectations were sky high. I'm sure they're still sky high. You're coming into a very tough conference. You know, and you've got to get focused on first getting your team, getting your system implemented. And now, when do you start to turn your attention to conference play?
Yeah, I mean, right now our schedule is, I've had someone ask about, the schedule, and that's our schedule is really just loving up on these young men right now. The season will have a time where we focus on that and that alone, but right now it's about giving these guys an opportunity to show that they belong. That's what they want to be able to do is show their new coaches that, yeah, I can play. I played last year. If the guys didn't play, they want to show us that they can play. So the focus is on that. We know that the OVC is a great conference, a conference that's been around, have a lot of really good teams and coaches in it, and we have so much respect for this conference and the teams that are in it. But for us, we're one thing at a time. Right now, it's just about spring ball, and then we'll transition over to some spring recruiting, and then we'll transition over to our summer school and weightlifting, and doing some stuff in the summer with the guys. And then as we get all of that done with some structure and organization, then we would start focusing on fall camp, and not even the schedule at that point. It'll just be fall camp. A lot of new coaches in here, new faces for these guys. So all of us have to get acclimated with each other, and that's what we'll be doing up until it's time to play a game.
Cool, man. Again, coach, I appreciate your time. Uh, if Reggie Barlow is playing in this day and age, his senior year, how much NIL is he getting?
Man, probably. I mean, I was at Alabama State, so I don't know. Probably Pell Grant, right? That's all. That's not. I'm joking. I, you know, I, I mean, I don't know. 58 catches, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. I mean, I was ranked pretty high. I mean, so I don't know. I probably would have been. I probably would have been a cool, like, realistically probably about 50,000 or something like that. Um,
Okay, okay. You want that
yeah.
all up front, or you want that broke down in payments?
I mean, I'd rather have it in payments, man, because sometimes that income tax check, when you get it like all in one, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with that. But no, I would have taken anything that they would have given me. I'll tell you what, I was just happy to be getting Pell Grant when I played football at ASU, and I mean it was on and popping when we got Pell Grant. You get your
That
new shoes and
hey,
everything,
what
right?
that
Yeah.
that week? Barbecues and new
Oh yeah.
shoes.
Oh yeah, man. There was this place in Montgomery. They had used to sell shrimp, and they sell, you can get 40, 50 shrimp, popcorn shrimp, and two pieces of fish. Man, 40, 50 all week when that Pell Grant hit, baby.
When they say I die poison, I'm eating so much shrimp.
Man, listen here, bro. I was there. One of my good friends, he Ezekiel Lee, he was a D lineman, so he liked to eat. So I always rolled out with him, man. But we would take care, man, get that Pell Grant, and we were eating good.
Man, last two things, man. The beer snake showing up in Tennessee State.
Yeah, man. How about the beer snake, right? I mean, you want to talk about something that took on a life of its own? The beer snake. I mean, I had to beg the people to let us keep it, right? Because of COVID, they were like, "Well, we can't have the beer snake," and then these people start throwing lemons out on the
I
field.
remember that. I remember
Yeah,
that during the game. Yeah.
in the game, at the referee, at everybody. So we say, "Hey, can we please bring back the beer snake?" And then it was gone for maybe one game, and then they eventually brought it back. And I think last week I was watching, they said they had maybe 2,800 beer cups. That, and we're not talking about little small beers. I mean, these guys got some size. And then you watch that beer snake, and it starts off at the bottom, and by the middle of the game, you're like, man, that thing is almost at the top of the stadium. So it was fun to watch those. I enjoyed meeting those people that was a part of the beer snake. There's one guy that's standing at the bottom and hold that thing up the entire time, through the game, through halftime, all the way to the end. So it's
So
pretty impressive.
it's not on the concrete after it starts. It gets to a certain thing.
Somebody is holding it.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Wow.
It's taking on it's a thing of its own right now. So I still love DC. I still pull for them. I still watch the games. I'm still in contact with the coaches, and I just sent some notes just this week about some things to be thinking about, because we're playing St. Louis, and they're a pretty good team, and well, they're a really good team in all three phases. So gotta have a good game up there this week.
Yeah, you had my guy there, Chris Blair, who
Oh
played
yeah.
for you guys that year, and you guys should have won the championship that year, but that's another episode.
Oh yeah, tell
Um,
me about it. Yeah, Chris Blair is a great guy, and that's the other thing. When we were there over our 3 years of being there, we had I think 13 guys that ended up getting signed back up to the NFL. Chris Blair is one of them that stuck. Lucky Jackson stuck. There's about 5 receivers on our team that's in the NFL right now that all stuck. We had an old lineman. Our punter is the starting punter for the Green Bay Packers, Dan
yep.
Whalen. So the league is good. I love it, man. The fact that you get to invest in these guys, and then they get a chance to make it back to the pros, and just to live out a dream of like playing professional football. So that job was a blessing to me, and obviously we missed the fans and all of that.
Well, hopefully with you here, uh, and I got your number, and I want to say thank you. Anytime I've ever called, text, uh, you always hit me back. Now it may be a couple times you'll be like, I'm in a meeting, hit me right back. But you still respond. I take that, and I appreciate you for that. But like I said, now that you're here, man, maybe we could work something out with the folks and the people you've met in that league, to where we can make a serious push for more people, more of the kids in our sector, HBCU football, to get that open opportunity at the XFL. I know they do the combine, but a real shot, a real combine, a real look. And we're not talking about 5'7", 283 tech. We're not talking about that real look. And there's nothing wrong with the 5'7", 283 tech, but we want Reggie Barlows that may not have been seen. We want him to have an opportunity to be put in front of the XFL guys. So maybe we can kind of merge that little that connection that you have with him. And lastly, I know the schedule's already set, but maybe we can get a TSU, the real ASU football game coming up here soon. What you think?
Yeah. I mean, Tennessee State ain't never strayed away from any opponent. So they just say put
We
the
ain't, du-
ball down. That's what they
we ain't, du-
said to
hey,
put the
we ain't
ball down.
ducking. We ain't
Right.
ducking.
Man, I got so much respect for both ASUs, man. And Alcorn has had some really great players come through there. We was just talking about, I was talking with one of my teammates, Garrett Walker, last night, who played in the NFL for a long time. And he played with Brian Mix. And we was just wondering, like, man, Brian Mix came out the same year I did, I think, in 96. And he was a second round draft pick and played for the Oilers or for the Texans. I'm not the
Texas, yeah.
Texans, but
The Oilers.
yeah, the Oilers
The
and
Oilers.
Titans. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, we still talk about those guys. We talk about one of my favorite players that ever played at Alcorn was 6'9" or 6'6", the receiver.
Yeah.
And
Marcus. Yeah.
yeah, and so Marcus Hinton, obviously McNair was always a favorite, but I'm gonna tell you another one, man. Kobe Jenkins. I don't know where that dude at or where he is. I'm sorry, but that guy was an amazing football player, wide receiver. He was so good, man. I'm talking about, I think this guy might have caught 60 or 70 passes one year. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if he went to the league or what, but yeah, I
Let's
got
find
I
out.
got I got a lot of respect for Alcorn, man, and the things that they've accomplished as a university.
Let's put this matchup together, man. I think that'll be a heck of a beer snake, man. We get together.
Yeah. Well, these colleges are selling beer now, so uh they probably will start a beer snake somewhere around here.
Hey, let's get this revenue, baby.
Yeah, right on, right on.
Coach,
Yeah,
man, I appreciate your time, brother. Nothing but the best of luck to you, yo. Appreciate you. Again, like I said, I heard your press conference. I knew exactly where you were going with that speech. Wink, wink.
yeah, yeah,
So I get it. I
yeah.
get it. I get it. Much success, man. We're gonna get back with you in the middle of the year, see how it's going, and support. And if there's anything I can ever do on this end, little old me, just hit me up. You got my number. Let's make it happen.
Yes, sir. I think you might have went out there, but I appreciate you getting me on and look forward to coming back on at any time. Just let us know.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you. Man, there you have it, man. We had a 2-for-1, maybe a little bit over what we normally do. But we were supposed to have Coach Barlow on the week before. First week of the job, got tied up, couldn't get to us. Surprised us this week, jumped on. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview with him. We're going to try to cut that up, put that out there, and go from there. Again, want to thank Coach Bryant, Coach Bam for jumping on, Jones Junior College with some insight on junior college football, the transfer portal in the state. Again, man, the common man ride at 5. Please, please, please hit that like button, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Wednesday at 5. You know where to find us.